On the 23rd of March 1931, inside the Central Jail in Lahore, then undivided India, Kala Masih Jallad, the executioner, prepares to execute 3 young revolutionaries. A Punjabi youth walks towards the gallows, shouting the slogan Inquilab Zindabad, heading to the execution site. At the age of 24, the young man who sacrificed his own life for his native land became the face of the Indian freedom struggle. By the time he became a martyr, he had actually surpassed even Mahatma Gandhi in popularity, emerging as a prominent figure in the hearts of those advocating for Indian independence. Name: Sardar Bhagat Singh Sandhu. Today, there is not a single person in India or Pakistan who is unfamiliar with the name Bhagat Singh, a symbol of courage and sacrifice. March 23, 1931, started like any other day in the Lahore Central Jail. The only difference was that the sandstorm that had raged the night before settled by sunrise. However, the day's end, which concluded so quickly, was contrary to the usual. At 4 p.m., Warden Sardar Singh came and forced all the jailers into their cells. They inquire with familiar guards about the day's events, but all they receive is an unclear reply, indicating it's an order from the superiors. After some time, Barkat, the prison barber, walks in front of each cell and whispers the secret to the inmates. All 3, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru, are scheduled to be hanged at 6 a.m. tomorrow. They will not see tomorrow morning. It saddens all the inmates of Lahore Jail. Following this, Barkat receives a request from the other prisoners. After the execution, bring us something from Bhagat Singh's cell. Following his departure from this world, retrieve an item he once used in that cell. We intend to keep it as a precious treasure for a lifetime. They inform Barkat that they will proudly share with their children and grandchildren the story of being in the Lahore Jail with Amar Shahid Bhagat Singh by showing what they've obtained. Barkat goes straight to Bhagat Singh's cell and returns with his pen and bracelet in hand. Upon reaching the barracks, other prisoners scramble to obtain them. Eventually, there is even a draw among them to determine the future owner of these precious treasures. Following this, an awkward silence descends among the prisoners. All their eyes fixate on the corridor that runs between the cells. It was through this corridor that Bhagat Singh and his companions passed to the gallows. Earlier, when Bhagat Singh was taken through the same corridor, Bhimsen Sachar, the then leader of the Punjab Congress, asked him something in a loud voice. "Bhagat Singh, why don't you and your associates try to escape from the Lahore conspiracy case?" Bhagat Singh's response to that was as follows: "The journey of revolutionaries leads to death. A revolution only happens when they are dead, not when they go to court and beg on their knees." Sardar Singh, warden of Lahore Jail, was very fond of Bhagat Singh. During those days, he had helped Bhagat Singh as much as he could. It was because of that affection that Sardar Singh used to bring all the books requested by Bhagat Singh from Dwaraka Das Library in Lahore. By the last day of his life in the cantonment cell, Bhagat Singh had adapted to the hardships of prison. All that remained to sleep on was a dirt bed, a makeshift arrangement made with mud. The grass had already started growing on it, leaving barely enough space for Bhagat Singh's 5 feet 10 inches body. On the day of Bhagat Singh's hanging, his lawyer, Advocate Pran Nath Mehta, had obtained permission to see him for the last time 2 hours before in order to fulfill the last wish of his client who was facing imminent execution. For that, when Mehta went to cell number 14 where Bhagat Singh was kept, Bhagat Singh was walking around like a madman. Seeing Mehta, he smiled and asked if he had brought the book Lenin's State and Revolution, which he had requested. Mehta handed over the book to Bhagat Singh, and he started reading it right in front of him. While Bhagat Singh is immersed in reading the book, Mehta asks him a question. "If you have any message to give to the people of this country, please share it." Bhagat Singh's reply, without taking his eyes off the book he is reading, is concise: "End colonialism. And secondly, Inquilab Zindabad. May the revolution live long." On that day, all the other cells were opened, and all the other prisoners were shifted. Before hanging Bhagat Singh, the British government had decided to evacuate the other revolutionaries. Before taking them out, the prison warden instinctively asks, "Do you want to see your comrades?" Then he leads them in front of the cell where Bhagat Singh was imprisoned and allow them to see him. Their eyes filled with tears when they saw him inside the cell. Bhagat Singh then told them, "Comrades, this is not the time to be emotional. There are only a few hours left for my peace of mind. You must do me a favor and promise me that you will never concede defeat to them." After saying this, Bhagat Singh puts his hands out through the cell bars and holds their hands. Seeing this, the jail warden becomes very angry. Their visit ends at that moment. That was the last meeting between Bhagat Singh and them. After seeing Rajguru and Sukhdev in their cells, Advocate Prannath Mehta leaves, and following that, Chata Singh, the jail warden, informs these three prisoners about something. They will be executed 11 hours earlier than previously scheduled. Instead of 6 a.m., the punishment will be carried out that night at 7 p.m. Bhagat Singh had finished reading only a few pages of the book, brought by Mehta in the evening. After hearing this information, the only question that came out of Bhagat Singh's mouth was, "You will not let me finish even one chapter of this book?" Bhagat Singh had requested something from Bebe, who was a cleaning staff in Lahore Jail. On the day of the execution, the Last Supper should be brought from home. Bebe is unable to fulfill Bhagat Singh's wish because the death sentence is carried out unexpectedly. After some time, all three are brought out of their cells to be executed. Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev holding each other's hands, the trio starts humming their favorite lines from the patriotic poem Shahidon Ki Chitaun Par, written by Jagdamba Prasad Hiteshi. The lines go, "Kabhi वह दिन भी आएगा जब वह राज वहीं वापस आएगा, जब अपनी ही ज़मीं होगी और अपना आसमान होगा. Once that day will come when that rule will return, when this land will be ours, and this sky will be ours." Finally, all three are granted permission to take a bath if they wish. Following that, they are dressed in black clothes. The jailer insists on putting a black execution hood on their heads, but they are unwilling to comply. It is said that Bhagat Singh threw the black hood in the jailer's face, asserting that we are not afraid to die for our country. Jailer Chadar Singh approached Bhagat Singh and whispered in his ear, "Pray to Waheguru in your mind." Bhagat Singh replied, "I have never called God and prayed to God before in my life. I have even cursed God many times because of the hardships of the poor in the country. In that case, if I call upon God now before I die, won't people say that I am only doing so out of fear of death?" When the end was near, he fell at his feet and went to apologize. The bell struck 6, and the other inmates of Lahore Jail began to hear footsteps approaching from afar in the corridor. They also heard the sound of boots hitting the ground, accompanied by the faint melody of a song, "Sarfaroshi ki tamanna, ab hamare dil mein hai. Dekhna hai zor kitna, baaju-e-qatil mein hai." That we have in our hearts the desire to sacrifice our lives for the land of our birth. Suddenly, loud and repeated slogans are heard in the air, "Inquilab Zindabad" and "Hindustan Azad Ho." Although the gallows was a very old structure, the executioner who came to perform the execution was robust. A notorious executioner named Kala Masih Jallad was brought from Shahdara near Lahore for this purpose. Bhagat Singh is standing in the middle. Bhagat Singh had to fulfill his promise to his mother. The heroic son's commitment to his mother was that, when climbing the gallows, he would chant "Inquilab Zindabad." True to his word, Bhagat Singh shouts the slogan "Inquilab Zindabad" loudly for the last time. The house of Pindidas Sodhi, who was the president of the Lahore Congress, was adjacent to the Lahore Jail. It is said that the residents of this house heard Bhagat Singh's slogan. The slogan was being chanted by the inmates in other cells of that jail. Masih Jallad tightens the noose around the necks of all three. Hands and feet are tied. The executioner then asks who should die first. Hearing that, Sukhdev insists that it got him hanged first. The executioners hang them one by one. The bodies of those 3 revolutionaries hang on the gallows for a long time. Initially, the jail authorities thought that these 3 could be cremated within the jail premises. However, by that time, a large crowd had gathered in front of the jail. Fearing that people might attack the prison after seeing the smoke rising from the burning pyre, a truck is then brought in very secretly through the way by breaking the back wall of the prison. The bodies of these 3 martyrs are thrown into it in a most humiliating manner. Initially, it was thought that they could be cremated on the banks of the river Ravi. However, as the water level in the Ravi River was very low that year, the cremation was shifted to the Sutlej River. By then, it was 10 p.m. All these 3 dead bodies were taken to the pyre in the presence of an unknown priest on one bank of the Sutlej near Firozpur. As soon as the pyre was lit, this information was leaked to the people. Seeing them rushing there with uproar and agitation, the British group got scared and got into their vehicles, escaping without waiting to complete the ceremony. The fire that had been lit by the pyre had already extinguished. The people stand guard over the half-burnt bodies. By noon the next day, notices signed by the district magistrate were pasted in the villages of Lahore around the jail. The notices stated that after the execution, the bodies of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev were cremated according to Hindu and Sikh rituals. However, upon seeing this, the people trembled with anger because the bodies were not even properly cremated. That afternoon, a mourning procession spanning 3 miles begins at Neela Gumbad in Lahore. As the procession reaches Anarkali Bazaar, it comes to a standstill. The crowd, which had been chanting slogans, falls silent. Relatives had arrived from Firozpur with the half-burnt bodies of the 3 by then. As their physical bodies are placed on 3 coffins adorned with flowers, the place transforms into a sea of sorrow. There was no one on that street who could refrain from shedding tears. Thus, these 3 valiant patriots, who defied the British Empire even in death and sacrificed their lives for their motherland, departed this world, leaving an enduring sorrow in the hearts of those who witnessed their courage. Some struggles are such that, despite the significant losses they incur, they give rise to undying heroes. These heroes will live on eternally in the collective consciousness of humanity as long as mankind inhabits this earth.